thing about living in the countryside is having to take out your own trash. It's not very easy at all. It can be quite tedious of a task, but it's something we got to get used to, especially as we're going to move out to the real countryside where there is nothing around. So yeah, garbage management is just one of those things that we're going to have to take care of. It's good practice right now. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I'll get to that.
Taking out the trash is a daily task, but these plants are the future. And that's why we're growing them now, even as we don't have our own land, we don't have our own home. Growing these trees ahead of time will help them become fully mature by the time we actually settle in. That's the purpose of this. That's the purpose of continuously working on these, day and night, as much as we can ahead of time. Apple trees can take up to 5 years to fully mature, so we're not wasting any time. And as you can see, cherry, lemon, mandarin, well, at least the mandarin is growing, but it's always about trying, seeing what works and what doesn't, and then seeing what we can sustain. Because in the long term, whatever's sustainable is usable, is going to benefit us. And when you try new things, they don't always work out. This plant is diseased, as you can tell. The tips of the leaves have turned brown. It's no good. Well, waiting to see what happens, but not full of hope on this one, when there are other plants that are doing just fine. But even still, we try it out. We see what works, what doesn't. And we have to enjoy our failures as much as our successes. They teach us a lot. If we're not willing to learn, we can't grow. And though growing can sometimes feel like it takes forever, the progress comes quicker than we think. These plants were just little seeds when I put them in these pots, and now look, they've already grown very well, and they'll continue to grow when nurtured and cared for properly. The same goes for anything that you learn, anything you put your mind to, anything that has purpose and meaning. When you don't give up, knowing you're on the path that God has set for you, things will always get better, no matter what trials come. People enjoy comfort. They're afraid of a challenge. They're afraid of difficulties. But if you stay where you were first planted, in a small pot, you won't grow. Sometimes things can look scary. And it's true. Growth can be very scary sometimes. But those times that we're most afraid, those are the times we grow exponentially. Those are the times that we learn something we would have never learned otherwise. The next thing you know, you're in the bigger pot, you're growing, your roots are going deeper, you're maturing, and you continue to grow until one day you bear fruit. But that requires perseverance, endurance, really pushing through the trials, trusting God for everything, knowing that one day you'll be exactly where you need to be, exactly where His plan is leading. And you'll have such a wonderful story to tell, something to inspire others, sweet memories to bring into old age. So don't compare yourself to others. Don't waste your time envying a path that was never yours, something that God never had for you. Instead, just stay focused on where you're planted, where you've been replanted to grow, and the journey that you're on. And just like these plants that are planted indoors, protected from the elements, but taken care of in the dark of the night, you may feel restricted, you may feel like you just aren't going anywhere, but that's not true. These plants have a whole another life ahead of them once they're put outside. They'll feel the gentle rain on their leaves, the birds singing in their branches, bear fruit that they could have never imagined sitting down here in my basement. But one day they will. So as I work through the night on these trees, making sure they have everything they need, I look forward to the future ahead. Each step I take bringing me one step further on the way. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you next time.